Yeah, I'm gonna fall asleep, eh? It's a lot more difficult than just type testing. There's a lot more going into type testing than just type testing. Because if you type test on a certain range of amperages with a certain IP rating, with a certain Ka fault level, then that is your type test. You
Yes.
can't use that again on a different board and say, but this one is also type tested if you've only type tested on
So that's correct.
a certain
There's
level.
definitely a misconception about type tests. So you think that, okay, once you've type tested, then you've got type tests for everything. But there's obviously a range of type tests.
Yeah.
Start off from the beginning of type tests. It's
Yeah.
actually, you have to go according to a code, which is 61439. And to get, it's always like fully type tested, there's a whole bunch of tests within type testing. We have a list of them. There's corrosion resistance, there's insulation of material, there's resistance, there's strength and durability, degree of protection, dielectric tests, temperature rise. So if you go to, say, like the Netfall laboratory and you get tested, you get type tested on a specific enclosure or on a busbar system, you can get a specific test for that specific system. So, for example, if I want a temperature rise test on a busbar system that's 200 amps, I'll take a 200 amp dB that's fitted with a breaker, fitted with a busbar. I take it to the Netfall laboratory. I then get it tested over a period of time, which is usually 24 hours.
Yep.
And they take thermal sensors on that dB, and they can place, say, 12 to 24 sensors on the dB in different places. And they monitor the dB at a certain current rating. Let's say it was 200 amps. They're going to put 200 amps through it. And then they're going to monitor it for 24 hours. And if that temperature rises more than, say, 1 to 2 degrees over that time period, then it fails that test. So if you want to pass that test, you've got to make sure that your dB is staying at the same temperature. So it's a constant temperature. Either you use the sufficient amperage busbar, or you have ventilation, or so on, and you make it bigger so that the heat can dissipate. There's lots of different ways to do it, but obviously if everything's specified at the right size, then you shouldn't have a heat rise. So that's just one of the examples of a type test certificate that you can get.
Yep.
The thing is, if you type test at 200 amps and you build a board at 630 amps, that 630 amp board isn't type tested.
No.
So that's what people are a bit unsure about in the industry when they come and say, okay, give me a 2000 amp board, but it has to be fully type tested, and someone comes with a certificate for 1600. That certificate doesn't cover the 2000 amp.
No, it doesn't. But also the issue is that if you type test one board and you spec a different board for the market, you cannot take that type that you spec. So say you've spec'd a normal distribution panel for type testing.
Yeah.
You can't take that same type test certificate and apply it to a DC setup.
Yeah.
It needs to be within the parameters of what you have type test. So if you put an AC type testing up, stand to be corrected, but I believe that there's a certain range that they give you a grace on. So say if you type test a 250, they'll give you grace up to like a 250, to a 200 down, or to a 315 up.
Yeah.
That you can have grace upon. But you can't rip the whole arse out of the horse and go for 1000 amps if you type tested 80 amps.
Yeah.